Welcome to my W.A.S.P album ranking. 4 decades of metal to talk about. Here we go. If you had asked me to compile a greatest hits album for W.A.S.P, Unholy Terror might be the only album I wouldn't pick any song from. It was a troubled time for the band. Chris Holmes left during the recordings. The record company arranged an interview on the phone for me with Blackie, and talking about the new album he explained to me that after the comparatively cheerful Eldorado they wanted to do a darker album because they didn't like to do the same thing twice. That makes sense, but it didn't become one of my faves. Seemingly not even the band was enthusiastic about this record because Blackie Lawless started working on the Neon God concept album instead of playing a tour to promote Dying for the World. Shadow Man is a great track though. That mean murderous groove tells you we are listening to post-KFD W.A.S.P here. Blackbone Torso is pretty cool too. This was the least popular W.A.S.P album for traditional metal fans because it was an obvious attempt to catch the zeitgeist of the 90s by doing a modern album with industrial influences. Chris Holmes once aptly described it as Blackie tried to be Marilyn Manson. But I think there are some strong and very aggressive songs on it, like the title track or Kill Your Pretty Face, and the tour was quite spectacular too. Even if this experiment didn't succeed, it was important to run that risk because people realized that W.A.S.P were still out there pushing the boundaries. The only entirely new album of the past decade. It's a more melancholic album, more mature. W.A.S.P had certainly moved on, but Golgotha lacks the variety which albums like Dominator or Crimson Idol had. Eldorado sounds like it was released right after Electric Circus and surely meant to please those W.A.S.P fans who were worried about the modernization on the previous KFD. Eldorado is perfect W.A.S.P party music. No more, no less. Playing all the albums again for this ranking, I realized I'd have to put this a bit higher than I had intended. Songs like Teacher and Heaven's Hung in Black with the reprise are brilliant stuff. I think Still Not Black Enough is a bit underrated. With songs like Black Forever, Goodbye America and Rock and Roll to Death, I've always enjoyed playing it. And now for the difficult one. Blackie Lawless wanted to disband W.A.S.P and do a rock opera solo project, but he was persuaded it would sell better as a W.A.S.P album. For a W.A.S.P album, Crimson Idol is a bit too polished though. The ballad Hold On To My Heart was released as a single with acoustic guitar versions on the B-side. You better didn't buy that one. I love some songs on this album, like Chainsaw Charlie and Arena of Pleasure, but as a concept story album, Crimson Idol doesn't play in the same league as Operation Mindcrime by Queensryche or Streets by Savatage, for example. Compared to Crimson Idol, W.A.S.P's second concept album Neon God seemed slightly superior to me because the music is heavier and the story is more captivating. They are making great use of those Hammond organ sounds to give it an epic 70s touch. My favorite tracks are Sister Sadie, Ecstasy Riders and Never Say Die. Although it was annoying that the two CDs were sold separately for no other reason but cash grabbing, I recommend to give this album another listen. It needs more time than others to grow. This album had a good share of hits. 9-5 Nasty, I Don't Need No Doctor, Restless Gypsy, King of Sodom. It still was good fun, but of course entirely predictable. Just another slice of what we liked before.
Oh hell, let's just do what we always do. Hijack some nuclear weapons and hold the world hostage.
They recorded a live album next to close the first chapter of band history, and then reinvent W.A.S.P after that. For a couple of years, like 2005, 6, 7, 8, I hadn't played my W.A.S.P records a lot. Then in 2009, Babylon came out and revived my interest in the band. There was a fresh energy in the album. The opener Crazy already tells you that this is W.A.S.P how you want them, kicking some serious ass. The two covers Burn, 70s Deep Purple, and Promised Land, 60s Chuck Berry, are also great references to the band's musical origins. The album has a good flow, which makes you want to play it again and again. And that's what it's all about. Wild Child, Blind in Texas. W.A.S.P managed to make a second album which had big hits as well as progress with the epic title track or the Slow Down by Cries in the Night. Perfect follow-up. The debut album was able to meet the high expectations, which followed those crazy early gigs and the scandalous Animal single. Watch the Live at the Lyceum London video to get an idea of those days. It's fun with a capital F.
Please disperse! Nothing to see here, please!
The fourth studio album, Headless Children, was released at a critical time. After the third album, which seemed a bit repetitive, W.A.S.P needed to try something new, otherwise they would have been considered a thing of the past. And what an album they delivered. They managed to keep the fun factor best shown in Mean Man, while also taking steps into more serious political lyrics in the title track or integrating 70s rock with The Real Me. This is a cover version even better than the original, because Craziness and Blackie Lawless are such a perfect match. He once jokingly said, "Pete Townsend has written it for me, and that's my feeling exactly." I hope you enjoyed this little ride and will give some of the old albums another spin. Bye for now.